catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Hustle Hoops. If you're a fan of the NBA, look no further, man. This is the number one place to subscribe. So we're starting off talking about the NBA Finals, 2021 Finals Game 1. Obviously, you know, it's the Bucks and Suns in the Finals. And, bro, first off, I just want to say, congratulations to the Suns for winning Game 1, yada, yada, yada. Realistically, with this series, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place on who I'm going to root for because, as you guys know, I've said it before, the Bucks are probably my favorite Eastern Conference team. And then obviously Devin Booker is my favorite player. Giannis is up there on my favorite player list. Chris Paul is everybody's favorite point guard. He deserves a ring. It's so many ways for me to root as a fan that I'm kind of stuck. I don't know who to root for, you know. Like I said, my feelings are towards the Suns and Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Cam Johnson, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges. I like a lot of the guys on that team. Seeing Cam Payne been hooping this whole playoffs has been fun, has been exciting. I've been wanting to root for them, but it's kind of also the Bucks. I like Giannis. Everybody knows I love Chris Middleton. I've been defending him for years. Drew Holiday, I like him. Everybody likes Drew Holiday's game. I don't know. I'm stuck, but just breaking down this game, bro, it looks like the Suns, man. I know Giannis wasn't fully healthy, I guess. I mean, he did rush back off that injury, which is a big shout out to Giannis in the first place for even playing in this game. He had a solid game, 20 and 17, but it's big shout out to him for even playing. That injury with his hyperextended knee was gross, and the whole day, the updates, I was getting notifications all day saying Giannis is doubtful for game 1. Then it's been moved up to questionable. Then it's been moved up to a game time decision. Oh wait, Giannis is actually playing. Nobody knew he was playing up until the tip off happened. So I guess big shout out to him showing his toughness, showing his grit. So for any 90s basketball fan who says NBA players now are just weak or NBA players now are just trash or soft or whatever other adjective you want to put in there, a negative adjective, Giannis is showing that, hey, we're not soft in this era. We can play through injuries. We can be tough. We can be physical. Da-da-da-da. Also, something else about all the 90s basketball stands, bro. This is going to segue right into the next point I was going to talk about anyway. The mid-range game is not dead. Please stop saying that. Please stop saying that. And that's probably going to be the title of this video or something. Chris Paul and Devin Booker are reviving the mid-range or something crazy. I don't know. The mid-range game is not dead, bro. Stop saying that. To all my 90s and early 2000s basketball fans, Chris Paul and Devin Booker are eating in the mid-range. Chris Paul is just an absolute god in the mid-range. He's a pick-and-roll maestro. These two guys are showing that the mid-range game is not dead. So, I feel like any 90s basketball fan is really enjoying this type of series. They're going to enjoy this series a lot. Like I said, one, because of the mid-range. Two, because, like I said, Giannis, he's going to be physical. Who's going to be in the paint. He's coming off an injury showing that the game isn't weak. And then also the super team. Neither of these teams are super teams. This is the Suns' first finals appearance since 93. Their third only in NBA history. And this is the Bucks' second finals appearance in history. It's all the way back, dating back to the 70s with Kareem. So it's kind of Lou Alcindor at that point. So it's kind of both these teams came out of nowhere. No super teams. All 100% drafting and trading. No free agency, OP signings or anything like that. So definitely appealing for NBA fans who are more old school, who have lost interest in the modern game. But now, actually just talking about the game, bro, the Bucks have a lot to figure out. That's Chris Paul and Devin Booker, even though Devin Booker didn't shoot particularly well in this game, just looking at raw field goal percentage, he shot 8 for 21, which that really, that's all from behind the arc. He shot 1 for 8 from 3. So it's kind of okay. But just with him, when he actually just wasn't bailing out the decent by just chucking up a 3, he actually didn't shoot that bad. He had 16 points at halftime, so he was carrying their offense in the first quarter and the second quarter. He had 10 free throws overall. He was getting to the line. He came out in that first and second quarter. I think he had 12 points in the first quarter. Mad aggressive. He was going off, and it was just simple stuff. Getting in the mid-range, getting a pick and roll, trying to get a switch, and just baking the big man, bro. Baking Lopez. Baking him consistently. They had no answer. Then Chris Paul comes on and does it in the second half when Devin Booker starts to miss his shots. That third quarter, Chris Paul had 3 or 4 times in a row just running a pick and roll. He got 2. He got a switch, got the and 1-3. He gets a mid-range where he goes back, snakes it all the way back around to the opposite baseline like he does. Boom, shot. Then he gets a lob to Aiton, and it was just like it was surgical. Like they had no answer. Brook Lopez was shaking his boots every time he got put in the pick and roll. First quarter they came out, they were switching it. No, yeah, switching it. Then that gets cooked. Then they tried to do a little bit of like they tried everything. They tried switching it, they tried rushing it, they tried dropping it, and Chris Paul just baked it every time. So, okay, you want to drop Lopez? You want to drop? Okay, cool. I'm gonna bake that. Okay, y'all want to switch? Y'all want to switch it? They're gonna cook the switch. Then then they tried to rush it to where both play kind of like a double team, but then that's just gonna throw off the rotations and they're just gonna swing it around for an easy bucket. So that just all led to culminating in the third quarter. Brook Lopez I don't think he played in the whole fourth quarter. That just led to them taking him out completely and running Giannis at the 5, which I really think they should have been doing anyway. Also, I think Bobby Portis needs to get more than 14 minutes because when they tried to, Bobby Portis had some good one-on-one defense when he was running the 5, and he was guarding Ayton, and they were trying to run that same pick and roll, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. He got scored on a couple times. Chris Paul put him on the island. It's being ISO'd him in the in and out and took him to the cup. So it realistically didn't matter if it was Bobby Portis or not. The best thing they have to do is just have Giannis at the 5 because Chris Paul or D-Book don't just want to sit back and get to ISO with the defensive player of the year, all NBA defense type caliber dude. In Giannis, they don't want to get into an ISO situation with him. So that's the best option for them to continue to go back to, just running Giannis at that 5 spot. But other than that, bro, Brook Lopez, either this is what they're gonna have to do, bro. They're just gonna have to man up and just fight through the screens. If they want to continue to have Lopez on the floor, just fight through the screens, bro. Because Devin Booker and Chris Paul are too good of mid-range shooters to just be letting them have whatever they want in that area. If they're gonna switch it, then they're just gonna ISO. They're too good of ISO players to do that. And then they're going to get to their spot regardless because Lopez doesn't know what he's doing guarding out in the perimeter. And if they're going to drop it, okay, y'all dropping it, that's giving them the space they want for the mid-range. If y'all going to rush it, okay, now that's allowing DeAndre Ayton, one of the best roll men in the league, to just have a free roll to the basket. And Chris Paul, obviously one of the greatest playmakers of all time, let alone just in this era. Just letting him have feast and just have a 7-footer easily roll into the basket. Chris Paul's going to find it every time. So you have to find the right balance between it, man. And realistically, my solution for it is y'all have PJ Tucker, obviously a very good defender. Y'all have Drew Holiday. We know what Drew Holiday can do on the defensive end. So it's those two people, and then Chris Middleton is no slouch. No switching, bro. Stop switching it. Stop switching, because even if y'all switch, it's not a big man. They switched off. They had Bryn Forbes switching on, and Bryn Forbes got baked in the fourth quarter. So even if they're not, because that's when they had Giannis at the 5, so they got Bryn Forbes a couple times in the action, and he switched on. He's still a guard, but he can't defend. Drew Holiday, no switching off. Fight through every screen. No switching. PJ Tucker, no switching. Like PJ Tucker was doing on KD, he was playing all aggressive on KD, not really switching all the time on KD. No switching. Fight through every screen and just live with the results, because that's going to be the best option. If you switch, you get baked. If you rush it, you get baked. If you drop, you get baked. So only thing you can do is just fight through it and just live with the results. Now also, I'm not one to complain about like the refs or anything, but I kind of did feel like the fouls, like, well, the Bucks were not getting really any foul calls until late in the fourth when Giannis got like 3 or 4 foul calls straight in a row. But I think the Suns had 25 free throws, only to the Bucks 16, which only 10 free throws differential. That's 5 calls, but it seemed like so many more calls are going for the Suns. Like Devin Booker, like I said, Devin Booker had 10 free throws all by himself. There was one point in the game where Devin Booker had more free throws than the whole Bucks team. Well, he had 10 free throws and the Bucks only had 8. So it was kind of like, bro, it felt like the Bucks were just getting no calls at all. But I could attribute that to just the Suns came out. The Suns came out all like full throttle, pedal to the metal. They were gassed up, and the Bucks looked like they were stuck in quicksand. Like they didn't come out with the energy. The Suns had more energy. The Suns had more cohesiveness. They had a game plan. This is what the series is going to come down to. This is going to be a good series. I'm not saying the Suns are going to run away with it in 4. I saw online that somebody betted 11,000 for the Bucks to win in 4 games. For the Suns to win in 4 games. It's a sweep. You're bugging if you think the Suns are going to sweep the Bucks. But the Suns right now, if both teams play like they did tonight for the rest of the series, the Bucks are going to be in a whirlpool of trouble because the Suns had control the whole game. I never felt like the Bucks were in control, even in the first quarter when it was a close game. at the end of the first quarter, it was 20 something. It was a close game. It was 30-26, right? That the Suns clearly had control. Devin Booker had 12. The Bucks just looked like they were playing catch up the whole time. Giannis' aggressiveness went down progressively as the game went on. The first quarter, he's coming out going crazy. He got 2 dunks. He's banging down DeAndre Ayton, getting booms, and he just progressively got less and less aggressive as the game went on. And the Suns just got more and more aggressive as the game went on. And that's kind of been just the whole trend with the Suns is they just been playing better than everyone. It's not like it's obviously Chris Paul and Devin Booker, but their supporting cast and everybody just has been they're just beating their teams because the Suns have such a cohesive game plan. Their chemistry, their whole they're running like a well-oiled machine. And that's kind of the thing with the Bucks is the Bucks are like an ugly team to watch sometimes. Like they're an ugly bucket. Like they don't do anything traditional. They kind of do stuff like off kilter. Just like they're just out there running around sometimes. And when you have Giannis, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, like the players of this talent level, they're gonna get the job done sometimes. But it's just like they don't seem like they have a game plan. I don't know. Maybe that's on Mike Budenholzer. I don't know. It just seems like it just seems like every time the Bucks come down for an offensive series, it's just a random sequence of events, and there's hope that they get a bucket out of it. Whereas on the other side with the Suns, it's a clear game plan. Okay, we're gonna try to run a pick and roll with CP. If that doesn't work, like they have a clear like scheme. They have a plan. They have something going on. And whereas the Bucks, it just seems like a whole bunch of randomness going on. So hopefully Giannis can get fully healthy to make this series a little bit better. Shout out to DeAndre Ayton. He nearly had a 20-20 game. He's been quietly going off this whole playoffs. Chris Paul, the point guard. He, like I said, that pick and roll with him and DeAndre Ayton was like a doctor in this operating room. Like it was just complete. They were like it was a surgical operation. Like the Bucks had no answer for their screen and roll, and if they can't figure out that pick and roll, they're gonna be in a big world of trouble.